Happy Thursday, everyone, and welcome to One Take Live. I am Monica May. This is Women's History Month. And about 8 years ago, I wrote this as a post the other day. I wanted to do something that involved mothers and daughters. And I sat down with a friend of mine who was big in HIV education and prevention. And she said, March 10th is Women and Daughters HIV Awareness Day. And I said, well, that would be a good thing to do. That would be a great time to do it. So I came up with the name, Let's Spill the Tea. And we began just conversing about that. And I got to tell you, tears in the room. We were over at the Shakespeare Theater. Tears in the room, jubilation too. But just as women were sharing with their daughters, not only about HIV, but just about the hardships of being a woman, and especially a Black woman. So I welcome you tonight to just sit back for a few moments and just listen to where we are in terms of HIV, because we're going to be talking with a board certified pediatric pharmacy specialist. Dr. Andrea Dunn has Let's Bee HIVE, which is Let's Be HIV Educated. I could not have found an advocate that was just as serious about bringing the truth to women and girls about life, period, than this woman right here. Her organization, even in the pandemic, came up with something called the stinging stigma. She's going to talk with us about that. We're going to talk about real numbers right now. And sisters, what you can do, and when I say sisters, I mean women, sisters, what you can do to truly stay protective. Dr. Dunn, thank you so much for joining us tonight on One Take Live. This is not your first time because we got a lot to get to. Thank you for always agreeing to just chit chat.
Thank you for having me, Monica. It means so much for me to be here today. I absolutely love these moments and I love what I do. So anytime I get a chance to talk about it, I am all for it.
What I love is Dr. Dre is very serious about what she's doing. And this started by being that pediatric pharmacist, that specialist in a hospital, and seeing so many pediatric cases of HIV come before her. And when you're prescribing meds and you're saying to myself, how is this happening? What were some of the other things going through your mind at that time, Dr. Dre?
I think, just seeing the women bear children um, that were living with HIV and seeing mothers and families actually have HIV, actually seeing our teenagers newly diagnosed with HIV. So, just from a variety of different spectrums, and the family aspect of it is really what inspired me to want to do more advocacy, especially once we realized that the treatments, hence the pharmacy background, the medicine can prevent mother to child transmission. And so, being able to see children born from mothers who were living with HIV, but the baby come out negative was very inspirational for me. And I wanted the community to understand more about that and how it happens and the effects that it has on families.
hmm How have we, as a people of color, and I don't only mean Black, I mean brown, I mean that, so that would include my Hispanic and my Haitian and my people of the Caribbean diaspora. How do we respond to wanting to receive information like this?
It's tough. It's not always as well received, especially I think within our culture because we don't talk about it as much. I think a lot of times in our households, sex is really not a common topic. And so a lot of times when it comes to prevention or even with, teen pregnancies or STDs, it's almost like you just learn as you go. And so that's one of the things that we wanted to help overcome is that communication barrier, which is why I think our missions collide and we work so well together.
Yeah, because and it's true. Just getting the word out and making moms feel comfortable enough to really, really open up to their daughters is something. And we've tried taking little cards and asking questions anonymously, and all kinds of tricks that we've tried, especially at our Let's Build the Tea and our Let's Bee HIVE events. You have brought in speakers from all over the country, women who are infected or affected with HIV. And what do you think the common link is between all those women, besides being infected?
Mm. They have all been very strong, beautiful women. And I think that they are women that are not the typical what you think HIV looks like. They are dynamic, phenomenal women who are from different variations, different cultures, and what we all have in common is our womanhood, and what I'm calling this year thy queendom come. What we represent as women is what we kind of have all together. And that HIV can affect anyone, and that's one of the things that I really try to help the general public to understand is it can happen to anyone. It's not just prostitutes, or it's not just someone who is promiscuous. These are everyday women, no different than you and I, and it could happen to any one of us if we don't protect ourselves.
I would also say a common denominator, and I think you may have said this in the beginning, is wanting to make sure that it doesn't happen to someone else. When we say happen to someone else, it's not as if it is a death sentence, because I have plenty of friends who are still living and they are living with HIV.
Mm-hmm.
There are so many friends, men and women, who are in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, even, and they're doing well, they're thriving.
Yes.
And the fact that there are medications and there are ways for you to get that, even if you're uninsured. Can we talk about that, especially for the Tri County area that we serve, which is Orange, Osceola, and Orlando?
Absolutely. So for families who are living with HIV but they may not have health insurance, there are programs such as the Ryan White program where that will act as if it is your insurance, where you still can receive care and treatments free of cost. And then the health department, they also have a ADAP program where that pretty much helps take care of the cost of the medications to treat HIV. The lifetime cost for one individual living with HIV can range about $350,000 per person. So there's a lot of funding that is available for individuals who may not be insured where they can still get care. There's a lot of resources available for that.
Hmm. And I need people to understand that when we're talking about these options for you to get care, we're hoping that that will lessen the stigma as well. Because sometimes when we can't afford something, it's just like going to the emergency room and
Mm-hmm.
thinking it's free.
Yes.
You can't just go there and show up with looking for care.
Yeah.
You'll get treated, but it's not the care that you need. And there are programs, agencies, doctors who have committed their life to wanting to take a person through
Yes.
quality
Mm-hmm.
life living with HIV and AIDS.
Yeah.
If you're just tuning in, Dr. Andrea Dunn I mean, she's a friend. She's a sweet person, but she is one of the smartest women I know. And her desire to get the information out, to get the word to women about HIV and just protection and just loving yourself and the things that we need to do
Yes.
in terms of self care. She talks a lot about that. How would a woman's self care, if she's been infected, be any different than a woman who is not infected? What should she do? What should she look forward to treating herself to?
Definitely getting to know your providers is one of the key aspects in staying in treatment, in order to get your viral loads to an undetectable level, to where a test could not identify HIV. That's the goal. Any woman who is within care, and that's one of the key things when we talk about whether or not it's no longer a death sentence. The key to that is the treatment. If HIV goes untreated, it still can lead to death. But if you are being treated, that's the key. And so you can still look to have babies, still have a normal, healthy lifestyle, and just making sure that you have that key support system around you in order to overcome the stigmas that could, be associated with it. So having that support system is very key and staying in care.
When a person is newly infected, they get the results to their HIV testing. First of all, let's go back to how soon after having unprotected sex should a woman, man, young girl, young gentleman, how soon should they go and get tested?
If you've had unprotected sex, you should at least get tested. You can get tested at that time, but you have to get tested again within the next 30 to 90 days because there is a window period. So typically 3 months later, you will want to get retested again.
Mhm. Now, what about the person who gets constantly tested? They are not choosing to wear protection, and they are choosing to have, different partners or even the same partner. What's the message that we can give them about how serious this is?
HIV is affecting a lot of people in the city of Orlando. Right now, we are ranked number 5 in the country for the highest
Mm.
rates of new HIV cases. And when you look at women of color, 1 in 9 women are have HIV, but they may not know it. And then there's a risk factor. If HIV continues to persist the way that it is, it's estimated that 1 in every 48 African American women or Black women will contract HIV in their lifetime. So if you are not practicing safe sex, there are tools out there that can still help you to reduce your risk of contracting HIV, and that is a tool called PrEP. And we talked about that a lot a few years ago when we did our She is Prepalicious theme. And but PrEP is definitely a tool. The Florida Department of Health is offering PrEP throughout the state to anyone who qualifies, absolutely free. There's a lot of access out there. It's just a matter of people knowing. So if you are in that category, it's recommended that you get tested more frequently, at least every 3 months. And then it's highly recommended that you get on PrEP because if you are in a high geographical location where there's a high incidence of HIV, then it's recommended that you get on PrEP and use condoms as much as possible.
Absolutely. It's just like, yeah, okay, you got your shot. I still need you to wear your mask. How about that?
Absolutely.
Just don't one without the other doesn't, you can't do that. In wrapping up, and what I want people to start saying is, oh no, what? For us to go longer, but I'm choosing it to be a 15 to 20-minute conversation.
Yes.
Um, what I wanted to give you the opportunity to do is talk about your next event that's coming up that we want everybody to join in, and it's virtual. So you tell us, Dr. Dunn.
I'm so excited about this year's Queen Bee HIV Awareness Symposium for Women and Girls. The theme this year is Thy Queendom Come. And this one is all about highlighting our female advocates who are going above and beyond in this field of advocacy, who are representing for our women and actually giving them an opportunity to share their story, highlight their businesses. And these are women who are on the come up, women who are doing their thing and excelling in their fields. And I just wanted to, we have a little twist where it might be a little bit of a faith component tied in there to tip off with Thy Kingdom Come, Thy Queendom Come. So it's going to be really, really good. We have some great speakers, and I'm excited about it.
So give us the date, and will it be on Zoom? What platform?
Yes, the date is Thursday, March 25th, Thursday, March 25th at 7 p.m. And it'll be via Zoom and Facebook Live.
All right. So what's going to happen is that we'll come directly out of One Take Live, and we'll change our top.
Okay.
At least I will change my top and head straight over to you because I've got to be there again this year.
Yes.
Again, if you want to catch up with Dr. Dunn, Let's Be Hive on Facebook and letsbeehive.com. Is it .com
.org.
or .org? .org. To connect with Dr. Dunn, visit letsbeehive.org. I am so proud of you. I'm so grateful today that Bishop-elect Derek McCray
Yes.
brought us in his office and said, I need you two to connect.
Yes.
And we came out of there so well connected. And we haven't left each other's side. So I think that more women, especially women of color, need to do that. Link arms to be able to spread the word about your mission in life. And you'd be surprised how many people want to help you. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for being on with us this evening. Don't forget, ladies, always wear your
Crown.
straighten up another sister's crown,
That's right.
and then always have a condom in your purse because you never want to leave home without that. You have to protect yourself and don't wait for anybody else to do it for
Yeah.
you. Dr. D, I love
I love you too,
you.
Monica. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you so much for being with us. This is Women's History Month, and we're talking about our health and history as well.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for joining me. I'm Monica May, One Take Live.